Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see the summary of Dear Life, a short story written by Alice Munro. Dear Life is a collection of short stories by the Nobel Prize winning Canadian writer Alice Munro in 2010. There are totally 14 short stories in this volume, and mostly the stories take place in her native place, that is Canada. And the people who are the characters in this short stories, they undergo major changes or they realize significantly about the smaller moments of daily life. The New York Times named Dear Life as a notable book, and the AV Club, the Atlantic, NPR, the San Francisco Chronicle, and Vogue, all these selected this as one of the best books of the year. Dear Life is narrated by an unnamed woman. She grows up in the Ontario countryside in the 1930s. Her parents run a fur business, raising minks and other animals and selling the pelts. She attends a country school which she did not like. Her father purchases an old shed in town, and in this way he becomes a tax-paying property owner, and therefore now he can send his daughter to the town school. After joining there, she makes friends with one of her classmates, Diana. But her mother does not like her to join with her, so she forbids the two girls from spending any time together. This is because the friend's mother was reportedly a prostitute who had died of a sexually transmitted disease. Therefore, our writer, the narrator, harbors a quiet grudge against her own mother for denying the friendship with the other girl. Now she starts focusing on schoolwork, even though most girls did not complete high school. She works hard to achieve this goal for herself. In the process, she discovers the joy of reading and becomes a voracious reader. She also helps her mother around the house. And throughout her childhood, she listens to her mother's stories about a mean old woman in town named Mrs. Netterfield. Since the stories were wild, she does not believe them. Mrs. Netterfield was so cruel that she allegedly chased a delivery man from her property with a hatchet because there was a mistake in her grocery order. Her mother also claims that Mrs. Netherfield snuck up to her house when she was a child and peered in the windows before scurrying away. When the fur business fails, her father finds a job as a guard at a nearby factory. At home, she starts to notice early signs of Parkinson's disease in her mother. Over the years, the symptoms worsened, so she had to literally take on all the household chores and help her mother. When she is an adult, she moves to Vancouver where she meets her husband. She still keeps a subscription to her small housetown newspaper. While reading it one day, she comes across a poem written by Mrs. Netherfield's daughter. This discovery inspires her to seek out some old records which shows that the Netherfield family used to live in the house where she grew up. The narrator's mother eventually dies of Parkinson's disease. Since traveling to her funeral would be too costly, the narrator stays in Vancouver, but she misses her mother and wishes she could explain things to her. Having learned the truth of her Mrs. Netherfield's stories, she regrets not being closer to her mother. On the discovery of the truth of her mother's stories, she is prompted to re-evaluate the entirety of the relationship. The story ends here. And the story ends with her feeling that she could have been more closer to her mother. And she also regrets not having gone for her funeral. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box. Like the video, share with your friends. And if you're not subscribed my channel, please subscribe. Thank you.